The Last of Us is certainly something special. The original game released in 2013 on PS3, and since then it received a remaster on PS4, a remake on PS5, a sequel on PS4, which I expect will eventually reach PS5 at some point. It's extended far beyond games at this point. It's also got a comic book, a live show, a tabletop game, and now, most recently, a television adaptation by HBO Max. Now, how does HBO Max's version of The Last of Us fare to the video game? To be honest, it's top-notch. It's just as good, if not better, than the video game itself. The Last of Us focuses on a post-apocalyptic world where a global pandemic has pretty much ruined all of society. The show mainly focuses on Joel, a man who lost his daughter not too long after the pandemic started and now has been fighting and surviving for 20-something years, and Ellie, a girl who might be a cure of all humanity, as she happens to be immune to getting infected. Honestly, the bond between Joel and Ellie is the heart of The Last of Us. Watching Joel become this cold-hearted killer to become a somewhat loving father because this one girl that came into his life is one of the most beautiful things I think I've ever watched on modern television. At the same time, Ellie was a relatively cold and heartless child who lost everyone she ever cared about in a short amount of time, and bonding with Joel really helped her open up. She was able to confide upon him her most heartfelt secrets. It was just really wonderful to see. Not just Joel and Ellie we have to think about. Throughout this 9-episode series, we see a number of characters and how their lives play out. We have Tess, we have Sam and Henry, we have Bill and Frank, we've got Riley. It was just wonderful. Seeing how all these characters have different experiences due to what happened and all the infected running around was very intricate.
So lucky.
Didn't feel like it at the time. Get shoved into a middle seat, pay $12 for a sandwich.
When it comes to choreography and the camera work, I'd say the show is stellar in that regard. All of the action scenes that I saw, whether they involved fellow humans or the infected, were so well crafted and well scripted that I was just awe-inspiring, really. Not only that, the emotional scenes were shot in such a carefully crafted manner that I couldn't help cry in some of the more tender moments. I mean, watching what happened to Sarah, I almost shed a tear. Not to mention Tess as well. That's only the first couple of episodes. The OST that was composed for the show was also top-notch. It really feels that they went out of the way to get all these amazing artists and just record some of the best music you think you'd ever hear in a modern television show. Very well done. Of course, no show is complete without the actors that actually make up the show itself. And honestly, these actors were top-notch. Everyone, whether it be the main characters or the supporting characters, brought their A-game, but I have to give special hats off to Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal. They really displayed just how strong and emotional Joel and Ellie can really be. I also like the fact that they managed to include Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson, who played Joel and Ellie respectively in the original video game. I'm sure fans of the original video game were ecstatic to see the two play a role, a relatively meaty role at that. I know I was a fan. I played the original video game, although I did not beat it, so I was somewhat familiar with Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson. And the fact they had such good roles, and not just a random clicker or a random infected or a random dead person, it was actually pretty nice. Ashley Johnson playing the mother of Ellie was just, I feel like there's some sort of cosmic fate in that.
There's so many.
Now, before we move away from the overall story, there is one thing I want to point out. While I will not spoil the ending of the show, I will say that the ending did cause quite a bit of stir among the internet, and I'll just give my honest thoughts. Considering everything that would happen, considering all that we know, and all that went on in the show, I think Joel was right to do what he did at the end. Now, this is simply just one man's opinion, and if you disagree, that's fair. But ultimately, I think Joel was in the right. I really do. Now, The Last of Us has been getting near universal praise, which it rightfully deserves, so I do feel a bit bad for seeing this one little caveat I have with the show. And it's really just the fact that there really aren't a lot of infected around. I mean, the point of the show is how humanity survives after the infection and all that stuff, but we barely see any. We see a bunch in the beginning, and then it slowly just drops off over the course of the series. I don't know if it's because it's a budget constraint or something, because I don't think it was like this in the video game, but it's the one thing I really have a problem with. I just wish we had more. Now, setting aside that one little criticism that I have, The Last of Us on HBO Max is a wonderful show. It's based on a wonderful video game, it's based on a wonderful franchise, and you need to do yourself a favor and give this a watch. I cannot recommend it enough. If you don't have HBO Max, please get HBO Max and please watch this. Afterwards, if you feel the need to play the video game, please do that. If you feel the need to play The Last of Us Part 2, please do that as well. Prepare yourself for Season 2, which you'll be getting at some point, probably in 2024-2025, which I am excited for. This is a wonderful show. Please give it a watch. There is just so much about the show you just have to love once you watch. The characters, the action, the emotions, all of it is just truly wonderful. HBO Max is hitting out of the park with this show. Please, please watch it.
We lose. We'll be back.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, try to give a like or leave a comment. If you didn't like what you saw, try to leave me some feedback to see in ways I can improve. Thank you. Have a nice day.